So there's a version of the little song Redwing, which is a cute song. It's a fun song to swing, and Western swing bands play it all the time. Not so much swing jazz bands, though I think I have heard them do it occasionally. And bluegrass bands will often play a sort of semi-Western swing version of the song. As I say, it was an old pop song about an Indian princess, one of that genre of songs that would probably be politically incorrect if anybody thought about it hard enough, but hopefully they won't. So we're playing in the key of G, and it's interesting when we play in G, we're almost always using this shape as opposed to this shape. Though this shape is the first one you learn in the beginner book, this one actually works out to be much more useful. And as we start on this tune, we're just playing our alternating bass in G, and we're going to have the melody right with the bass. That shouldn't cause problems. That's just with the G and the C chord, of course. Now, what happens in swing very often is that the melody will jump at some point and it'll get in between the bass notes and be syncopated. And that's one of the real sort of basic qualities to taking what is a simple tune and making it into a jazzy feeling. It dates back actually to before jazz, to the ragtime era. And during the swing era, for instance, a lot of the great singers, people like Ella Fitzgerald, Mildred Bailey, people like that would take even folk songs. They would sing songs like Loch Lomond and they would make a swing feeling to it. They would add a couple of passing chords, but especially they would do this thing where they would syncopate the melody. One thing that will help you a lot as you do finger picking is to learn how to be aware of where these notes are. So if we say that the bass notes are always on 1, 2, 3, and 4 in the bar, then if you're going in between those, learn to think in terms of 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, and 4.5. For most things that we're going to do, 95% of it is either going to be on those ones or the halves in between the beat. Okay, so let's go back and look what we got here at the beginning. Just a D7th with our thumb over there on the 2nd fret. And you always want to be fretting with that thumb. And there's a sort of cheap E minor 7th that you get just by picking up that ring finger from the bass string. Let's try that again. There's a little quick run in there, but it's not difficult. When we get here with our thumb down on the F sharp on the bass, hammer on from the 2nd to the 4th string of the 3rd string. Then there's a pull off, and then those 2 notes on the 4th string, 4th and open, just using the index and ring fingers of the left hand. I forgot to mention one thing that you've probably already seen if you've been paying attention, and that is that I'm always using 3 fingers on the right hand. And I certainly strongly advocate doing this. If you're only used to using the 2 fingers, then try to throw in the ring finger. My experience as a teacher is that people, almost everybody I can remember ever having taught, finds that within a week they can start using that 3rd finger, and it really does make life a lot easier. And what we do when we do this is we sort of unionize your hand. We're going to assign strings to these right hand fingers. The index finger plays the notes that are on the 3rd string, the middle finger is playing the 2nd string, and the ring finger is playing the high string. And the union doesn't like it when the fingers generally are doing other things than that. Though as we'll see a little later in this tune, there are other things that happen. But the point is that you should be comfortable with that kind of alignment as a basic frame of reference. Let's look at the second time through. Actually, let's do something just a little bit different as far as the right hand goes. That's a way to get an extra note in. By what happens is we've got now our middle finger on the 3rd string. Actually, what happened there at the beginning of that is that the alignment's shifted from the top 3 strings down to the next 3. So if the index finger played the fourth string, with our first bass note, then the middle finger of the right hand plays the third string. And so then the next two notes together, you see your index finger of your right hand isn't being used. And then you can put it in between there. Let's try to do this for a second. Play the bass note with your thumb and the third string with your middle finger. Now play the two middle ones, again using those two fingers. So you haven't used your index fingers. And then play with your index finger. And repeat that until it doesn't feel so strange.